that is... Well, Young Ninjas are straight to an eco, and for Lyngby Vikings, they're going to be feeling pretty confident, aren't they, Josh? That is definitely a way to get things underway. Over towards Lyngby Vikings, they push their way forward on mid. Annika's the man to try and duel them. He's got Fasher there to assist him. It's an absolute slaughter. Once again, only a couple points of damage done to the Lyngby Vikings. As we see Young Ninjas move to their first buy rounds, and, well, for the Vikings, there literally couldn't be a better way to start this series.
Yeah, there really couldn't be, to be honest. Like, the Lyngby Vikings, they go 2-0. Bearing in mind, we've just been talking in the pre-game about maybe potential problems within this roster. They come in and they put down quite the statement. Yeah, I mean, 2 rounds is still very, very early days. We're yet to see a proper buy round here for Young Ninjas. And given the fact that last round was a full eco, it was pretty much gifted to their opponents. But to take the early 2 rounds, definitely a nice little statement. What is also a nice statement, though, is Sapek right there, boosting over the edge of the smoke. Really, really nice gap there for him to work with. And a nice opening pick.
Definitely a way to get things underway. Sapek, he's even able to double down. And, well, with this, it's going to be into a bit of a tough spot for the Vikings. So we lost 2 members already. They do have Annika who's ready for the fast rotation. They do still have Fasher on this site. But for the Young Ninjas, at 2-man advantage, they have a lot of utility. They've got the firepower. Right now for the Vikings, this is something that they're going to respect. And more importantly, they're going to have to fear whether or not Sapek's able to follow through with even more kills here. But they do so with aggression. There's LNZ, good for the first. LNZ, good for the second. That should just be the round. And for Young Ninjas, turns out they still bare teeth.
They absolutely do, yeah. You can't sort of get too fixated on which way the first couple of rounds go. The pistol can always be a little bit temperamental. That follow-up almost always goes your way, especially when your opponents are on a full eco. But as soon as Young Ninjas pull out the big guns, they put a very, very convincing round on the board. They use their offensive utility to take the site, to get that early control, but they don't even deploy a lot of their smokes and flashes. They just deem it unnecessary. They were able to find the first 2 kills from aggression on ramp, and that just allowed them to burst onto the site. The wall of smokes wasn't needed, and it means that they can conserve all of that utility in the next. In this round, of course, there wasn't enough money for an AWP. I'd like to see one come out maybe in 2 rounds' time, if they've got the money to do so. If someone falls and they can justify throwing away one of those AKs. HNS on the other side of things, though, he's managed to save a FAMAS. It means they can go for a buy into this round, but it's not going to be the best of buys. I think we will see another FAMAS here. There we go. Out on bird from Sky. Let's see what they can do with this.
Annika does have that AWP out, so it means that taking this initial duel towards ramp is going to be significantly easier. We're going to have to see if it works out for them. However, for Young Ninjas, that early momentum from LNZ and from Sapek is something they're going to be very, very happy with. And here's that aggression from Banner. Scoped in towards Pitts. He knows full well that there's someone to aggress. Nilo's a man to do so. Hasn't seen anyone just yet, though, and instead, he just tries to play the angle. He does it beautifully. HNS to full. There's the man advantage, and he's going to just barrel his way forward. He knows, he's acutely aware that Lyngby Vikings usually only have 1 player towards this beast site. And as Young Ninjas look to outmaneuver the Danes, this is where they might encounter a bit of trouble.
They absolutely could. Man, and headshot onto Annika as Fasher can trade it right back. Now the 4-on-3, still the man advantage here for Young Ninjas, and now control of this B site. They just need to wrap this bomb around, get it planted while they hold on to this control. And as Nilo finds one more, I think that's probably the final nail in the coffin. Lyngby might even go for a save here.
A save isn't out of the question, to be honest. Two rifles into what would be a bit of an eco next round means they bear a bit of teeth, means they can do a bit of damage, and it makes the round winnable, if anything. And considering it is an AWP and an AK, both of them kind of power weapons which can deliver that victory, I'm completely happy with the save from Lyngby Vikings. Even though they do forego the lead, it does go into this kind of 2-2 level pegging. But for the Vikings, there's still an element of realism for them to still come back and win this. For Young Ninjas, though, that's a lot of momentum they're going to be happy with, and as they push their way forward, they're going to be more than happy to not only take this round, but do so with only losing 1 member.
Oh. Very, very strong round there for the Young Ninjas. Once again, back-to-back, really, really promising rounds where they're able to save lots of money. That's exactly what you want. Kicking things off on your opponent's map pick as well. Remember, this is actually Lyngby Vikings map pick. And the fact that they're able to start off on their favoured side as well, pretty crazy. Young Ninjas, they're coming into this one with a good record. You see those win-losses come up. Both sides actually taking a couple of decent wins recently. However, that's in maps against AGF, I think. Because if you look at their series record, it doesn't reflect what we just saw on screen there.
I'm kind of worried for the Vikings. Like, not so much now. Yes, they have just lost HNS, but these are some of the players who didn't invest too heavily. But I'm more worried for them in the sense if they lose this map, I definitely don't see them winning train. I really don't. So if Young Ninjas are able to take this first map, I wouldn't be surprised if we see a 2-0 here, Josh. And, well, that's something that Young Ninjas are going to be more than happy with, because I believe round difference does contribute to how your games are played out in the second round. So they do want to really make sure that they're winning these games convincingly. And, well, with Nilo fully blinded, he's able to spot out and kill Bird from Sky nonetheless, though. And once again, a beautiful opening for Young Ninjas now, a 2-man advantage.
Oh, that's brought right back into a 1 as Rouse does find himself a nice headshot. It's half on health though, and as Manor finds 1 more, I think this should actually be the lead here for the Young Ninjas. They just completely blitz through their opponents. They're about to make this 3, and as Anikez is left in a 1-on-4. It's AWP in hand. Realistically, he wants to save it, but I'm not sure he's going to be allowed to, and they're not going to have any money going into next round. He does fire off that first shot. Now his position's known, though, and as he darts away for his life, Nilo's able to finish him off. 3-2. Young Ninjas, they take the lead, and they should be able to extend it further against what will just be a couple of pistols, I'm sure.
That it will be, and for the Vikings, their bye now, I suspect it will just be down to 2k, as the Young Ninjas really get the ball rolling, as they really establish themselves. I fully expect them to just barrel their way forward from here, and, you know, it's this sort of momentum. We saw this yesterday on all 3 maps, where it was, you know, even for the first couple of rounds, and then one of the sides just bombed it forward.
Well, a full eco hit. We've already talked about the fact that some of these Young Ninjas players have been able to quite substantially establish their economy. And we could see a flawless round here that would push it even further. A brilliant Molotov flushes out all of the players. Nilo's going to hit all of those sound cues. Can't quite find himself any kills, but does a hell of a lot of damage. As he loses his life, looks like Lyngby will aggress further into the T-spawn. And, well, 1 kill, being able to potentially save an AK. That's a good result. That's a really, really good result on an eco round like this.
Yep, saved AK, everyone left alive. I think Young Ninjas, they might look to play a bit of a bonus, but with no SMGs, they didn't really get a chance to buy SMGs because no one's really dying. And because of that, you see Manon try and go for a bit of a flank play onto some of these members who are just moving their way forward. But the reality is, for the Vikings, only 1 AK, yeah, it helps. The fact no one's dying helps even more. But at what point is silver linings not enough? As once again, we have this side of Young Ninjas who just shut them down completely, categorically. Anika's boosted up good for 1, but both of his teammates fall in the process. Ralsei survives with the AK. We move into what will now be the follow-up buy, but it's at the extent of Young Ninjas who have lost 2 players in exchange for a round. That's a trade they'll take any day of the week, especially with the momentum they already have. And this is Fuzi on 12k post-buy. We've got Sapik on about 10k post-buy as well. And the reality is, players falling, players dying, it does very little for economic damage when their economy is in such a stable state.
Orp in hand for both sides. Anikez, we know how capable he is, but Fuzi's got that young flair. 4-2. And once again, Lyngby Vikings are on the cusp of being reset. If they lose this next, Young Ninjas might be able to make it 6. A brilliant flash there from Fuzi to allow LNZ out to find that opener. We saw him playing out of his mind the other day, but as Rouse can catch out another, we do find ourselves with a man advantage. Oh, wow. Yeah, it was a little bit rough when it. I think we're back.
Pixels. Through the pixels, we were able to see that follow-up kill, and as soon as he shuts down Anikez, Rouse the last man left standing. I say last man left standing on this site. The retake does come through, reinforcements do come through, but as Rouse shuts down 1 more, Fuzi's there to trade, and Fuzi, he's going aggressive further still. Fasher punishes him for it, leaving Nilo in a 1 versus 2. Now, what can he hope to do here? He goes to that plant, he punches in those numbers. He's ready for the follow-up push as well, and look at this aggression now, shifting his way forward. He knows that there are players around him. He knows that there's at least one from CT, but where's the second? He's hunting for the second. He needs the information, and little does he know, for the Vikings, they're both just with one another. They're happy to trade off one another, and I think as Dino re-clears this, that will confirm to him that they have to be together. However, he just needs to try and play for timing. He knows that the Vikings, when they take a fight as one, it'll be almost impossible to break. But there goes that plant. A few slapped on this round. Comes down to aggression. Spots out the first man. It finishes off Fasher. He knows the second of HNS will be there. Nilo wins it. A beautiful, beautiful round from him. And for Young Ninjas, that's a 5-2 lead as they reset Lyngby Vikings once again. As they see reset Lyngby Vikings once again. They got Lyngby Vikings moving forward with Deagles and Smokes here all there. Sure, it helps, but the reality is this is an uncomfortable spot to say the least. I'll tell you what, Josh, Young Ninjas, they're starting to feel it right now.
They absolutely are. 5-2, and what do you think happens if they win map pick here at Vertigo? Do you think they take the series?
Yeah, I do.
Okay. 2-0?
Yeah, solid. Let's go for it. Yeah, 2-0. I thought Young Ninjas, here's the thing. Lyngby Vikings, if they want any chance of winning this series, they need to win Train. Also, they need to win Vertigo. And with Vertigo being this one-sided, I really aren't feeling them. I'm really not. So, I absolutely think that Young Ninjas, they probably take this 2-0. Unless we see Lyngby Vikings sort of close the gap here and make it look a bit more contentious.
Well, 4 versus 4, of course, only the Deagles in hand, though. And Young Ninjas, this is going to be another free round for them. It's just about damage control right now. With one more kill found, bomb going down. If they cannot lose any more of these rifles, then they are seriously going to be rolling in the dollar.
They will be. Man, quick little kill to Fasher. And he goes and rouse the last 2 players left standing. And I'll tell you what, once again, Josh, I just am not feeling Lyngby Vikings right now. As they lose this, Young Ninjas make it 6. If they lose the next bye, we're looking at about 8 or 9. And 8-9-2, everything from there is just insult on top of the loss to that initial CT side. And for Lyngby Vikings, with this Deagle, sure, rouse saves an AK, but it's again, at what point the silver lining's not enough, because Young Ninjas, they are looking pretty bloody strong, Josh.
They really are, yep. Very, very strong indeed. 6-2. This is their T side of Vertigo. As I say, some teams do just favour their T side. And I think that actually Young Ninjas are one of those teams that do often just favour their T side. Of course, when you're on that attack, you kind of have that versatility. When you're a really young, crisp aimer and you're confident, you can just run around and tap on heads. It can be very, very powerful to have an AK in hand and have the freedom to be able to do so. Fuzi right now, he's got so much money, and he knows that if they win this round again, he's going to be on max cash. He's bought himself some jewelries. I love that. Miss your AWP shot, switch to the jewelries. Brat-ta-ta-ta-ta.
Let's buy and get one free right now.
Yeah, it absolutely is. He's got 3 guns right now. That shouldn't be allowed.
If you were to dual wield guns in real life, would you choose Berettas or would you or Berettas? Would you choose something else?
I think in Counter-Strike you should be able to get like akimbo Mac 10s.
That would be awful in every sense, in every form, Josh.
It wouldn't, because you'd B-Rush, everybody buy 2 Mac 10s. It'd be brilliant. It would change the meta after getting a bomb plant. And then going into the second round after losing pistol, instead of buying Galils, everyone would buy 2 Mac 10s, which is Rush B, and it would be so exciting. It would be really inaccurate, but the fire rate would be crazy.
It genuinely sounds awful, Josh.
What if there was no crosshair?
Like, that would help. It's a Mac 10.
Yeah, but like you don't have a crosshair, so it's like using an AWP. It's just like kind of blind fire, close range.
I know about that one, Josh. I don't know about that one at all. I'm very glad you're not the one who makes decisions over at Valve. That's... The Lyngby Vikings, they're able to... Well, I mean, while we're rambling about that, they actually just straight won a round. It's like, fair play to them.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's straight by, shuts down Young Ninjas. Young Ninjas, of course, they have the money, so they'll reinvest, no worries. But incredible round by the Vikings there. But moving forward, they're reinvesting their economy. It's not really the best, but it's still pretty strong. Anika's leg down, as is Fuzi. They exchange blows, they push their way forward. Anika's forced to run as in mid, LNZ shuts him down. LNZ doubles down, and just like that, Young Ninjas, they have a sight, they have the time, and here's Bannon with that single-wielded Mac 10 to push his way forward.
Two-man advantage, Young Ninjas, once again, they've kind of put themselves in the driver's seat, haven't they? You see them slip up around, and you wonder, is this going to be the start of a comeback here from the Lyngby Vikings? Are they going to actually close this gap and give us a decent contentious half? And then it just kind of disappears. You go into the second, Young Ninjas, they're back to their winning ways. Not only are they back to their winning ways, but they're back to their winning ways in a flawless fashion. Lyngby Vikings, they've almost been a little bit trigger happy with the saves. Obviously, in a 5 versus 3 like this, it makes sense to save, but it feels like every single round, their rotations are slow. Now, I don't want to pin this down to like any kind of communication issues that we were talking about earlier. No, on Vertigo, it's very difficult to get in those fast rotations, especially if you don't have control of mid, and you have to kind of cross mid. You never know if that's enemy territory. But the rotations aren't coming through early enough at all, and then they lose 2 members on a site, and that's it. It's a save call.
Yeah. How many saves have we seen this game? It was about 4 from Lyngby Vikings. We've had both save decades on the eco. We had that one there. I think we've had another. So for Lyngby Vikings, this really isn't a comfortable spot for them. HNS though, he finally wins that up duel onto Fuzi. He's not quite able to double down with Nilo, getting a beautiful shot to get things underway. And with that, Young Ninjas, they go into this 4-on-4. They deploy the odd smoke, they show a bit of presence towards this beast site. As the bodies go down, Sapek, he actually swaps places in the smoke with the Bird from Sky, and Bird from Sky down. Rals though, him doubling down puts it into a man advantage for Young Ninjas, and, oh sorry, for Lyngby Vikings, I apologise. And for Young Ninjas, they're not going to have to make up for that with Nilo pushing forward, ready to regress towards ramp.
Well, finally, a man advantage once again here for the Lyngby Vikings. I still wouldn't count the Young Ninjas out of this round, to be perfectly honest, but let's see what they can do with it. Anikaz, Rouse, Fascia. Desperate to try and close this one out. Rouse still jump spotting here on the sandbags. Even though it looks really dangerous, even though he looks exposed, it's almost impossible to hit that shot as a T, and there we go. He spots them on his peak, he'll fall right back to the site, he'll call him for the rotation. Now just trying to defend it, he's got Anikaz there to support him. Anikaz can hit the shot and it falls onto Manon. 1-on-3, brings it into a 1-on-2, but with 30 seconds on the clock, he's got a hell of a task on his hands and he won't be able to do it. Rouse eliminates him with a headshot, and Lyngby Vikings make it 4.
So Rouse is really the guy who delivers for Lyngby Vikings. Beautiful round from him there, and I think he's currently leading the charge, at least on the scoreboard. He's definitely doing the best this game, and well, credit where credit is due to him, because he is single-handedly trying to push his team to victory. Right now, he's going 14-3, Josh. The rest of his follow-up is Nilo on Young Ninjas, who's only got 8 kills. So, Lyngby Vikings, without Rals, are in a lot of trouble. The fact that they've got 4 rounds have been what looks like solely to his credit.
It does seem that way, doesn't it? Really, really pulling the weight here of his teammates. How many kills did you say he was on?
14-3.
14-3, my goodness. Yeah, I've just looked at the KD. 4.67. Now, you got to remember, he hasn't died too many times because he's been saving quite a lot. But that's still mad. And that is clear proof of how many rounds they've been saving, because they've lost 7 rounds, but he's only got 3 deaths.
Bird from Sky's got 0 kills at the moment.
Oh, that is rough.
He's not quite James Bonding, but he's 0-6-2.
Bird from Sky's kind of had a rough one in terms of the fact that formerly, in the much older iterations of this Lyngby Vikings roster, he was picking up that primary sniper and he was really good with it. Then they brought in Nato Safix, and Nato Safix kind of stole the show a little bit. but Bird from Sky was good as a secondary, and now they've got Anakez in and HNS, who are both very capable AWPers of their own, and Bird from Sky is kind of back down to rifling, where he's not a rifler, yeah, he is an AWPer. So, I don't know, I don't think, if Lyngby are going to continue to bring in new AWPers rather than let him play his role, then I don't think there's a place for him on this team.
No, fair enough, that is a...
It's a bold statement.
It is.
And it's a bold statement because I love Bird from Sky.
Right.
But, like, he's a very good AWPer. And if they're not going to let him AWP and they're going to keep bringing in other AWPers, then to put him on a rifle just doesn't make sense. He'd be better off elsewhere in another Danish or Scandinavian roster picking up that AWP, in my opinion. I don't know.
You make a fair point, and like, yeah, right now it's looking pretty rough if you are the Vikings, especially if you're Bird from Sky. But statistically, Bird from Sky, he just is the kind of bottom fragger for Lyngby Vikings. And the fact, we kind of had that kind of glory day for IGLs, where if you're an IGL, you didn't have to do well. Yeah, it doesn't matter, but he is really, like, statistically, over all time, he's only got a 0.97 ratio. Like, or a rating even. He is a very, very, his impact is in the mind, not in the frags. And right now, that's kind of being embodied as Young Ninjas. They need 8-4. They're more than happy to continue pushing their way forward because, frankly, for the Vikings, what can they hope to do from here?
Well, it's a buy once again, but it's not the best of buys. Last round came incredibly close, so reinvestments were needed on both parts. Young Ninjas, we saw them with a crazy economy not so long ago. Fuzi, I think Nilo as well, up around that 16k mark. Now they're quite far from it. Still enough cash at bank, though, to go for hefty investments. Fuzi with that up once again. The Julie's behind it as well. HNS able to find that first onto Manon. But Bird from Sky takes early damage, and Young Ninjas, if they can trade this one out, they've still got a good chance of taking this B site. The issue is they sent the bomb in first, and they've had to go for a cleanup crew to retrieve it.
Well, they have, and, well, they are able to retrieve it, so that makes their lives easier. But look at the aggression from HNS. He knows full well it's going to be hit towards there, and look at that rotation from the Vikings. Right now, if you're Young Ninjas, you are up that creek without a paddle if you try and hit this site without a early entry. Rouse? Oh, sorry, yeah, it is Rouse. He's just playing for info, understandably so. They'll go for this jump spot. They'll spot out every single member. The nade's good. They'll just back away. And as he sits behind back sight, with 30 seconds left, Young Ninjas, they've got to go for this commitment. Out goes the set piece. Out goes this utility. Question is, what can Lyngby Vikings do to catch them out? Anakez forced off the angle. Sapek shutting down Rouse. Fasher through the smoke. Good for one, good for two. But the back and forth puts us into a 2-on-3. Now, this is where things get interesting. Fasher, aggressive forward, shuts down Nilo. Trade, not quite there for Fasher. That's a beautiful round as he brings Lyngby Vikings their 5th. Young Ninjas having secured a victory in this first half, last round, are now fighting to make it as one-sided as possible.
They absolutely are, yeah. 8-5, and for the Young Ninjas, even if they lose these next 2 rounds, it's a good half from them. Yeah, at the end of the day, it is a good half from them. It's really unfortunate from them there that Fasher was able to find himself 2 through that smoke. The spam, it's just time to perfection. Really, really smart stuff from him. Good spray control as well to make sure his bullets don't go all over the place. But yeah, if they lose these next 2 rounds, it's still a good half from them. But given the fact that we were 6-2 not so long ago, I think they are looking for that 10-5 half, 9-6 at the very least. It's very obtainable. But if they don't take it, I'm not sure how happy they're going to be. Either way, it's their opponent's map pick. They're on their opponent's least desired side. Let's see how this one goes as we come down to the minute 20 mark on the clock and no damage has been dealt yet.
Fuzi ready for this aggression. Spots that Anakez. There's the opening. Not quite able to trade, but Mannon's able to do so. Fasher doubling down. And I'll tell you what, Fasher, he's joined Rowls in this level of success right now because without them, I think the Vikings are on their ass. But luckily, They have both members, and both of them are delivering. 3-on-3, Young Ninjas, with not much economy as well, have to win this round. And LNZ proves to show why. Good for a first kill, ready for the second of anyone who dare aggress from CT. Fashion realising that the likelihood is he's being held, and because he doesn't commit, we've got the remaining members of Young Ninjas pushing their way forward, looking to go for this plant, and looking to hold firm.
Well, with the map advantage here once again for the Young Ninjas. This bomb, it's yet to go down. That incendiary grenade, it's going to delay it for a little while. And it does actually allow Fasher to rack around and try and deny. But as LNZ takes down both, plays out of his mind once again. The other day, we saw him getting clutch after clutch. Once again here, proving himself as one of the higher impact players here for the Young Ninjas. And one that I think could go further as well off of that. I mean, we've already seen Ninjas in Pajamas picking up players from this, what is essentially an academy roster. I always love it when a team have an academy roster, and instead of them just being an academy roster that stay like that forever, I don't really want to use like any examples, but we all know plenty of academy teams that just stay as the academy team forever.
Yeah.
They pick up those players. Gambit's a good example, except they did actually pick up the whole team. NIP's a great example in the form of ZTR, yeah? He's playing under Young Ninjas. He wasn't there for too long before they realised that he was a hell of a talent and his powers needed to be used in the main team. And they picked him up for Pro League, and he's been playing really well in that roster. And now I think he's probably cemented as a solid fifth.
No, you're absolutely right. HNS, the last man of standing in this 1v4. What on earth does he do from here, Josh? What on earth does he do? Swinging right, bit of damage done. There's Boozy to vault, tries to double down. Nilo comes out on top. And for 10-5, Young Ninjas, they're going to be pretty damn happy with that T-side. As Lyngby Vikings are thrust into their T-side, this is really a troublesome spot for them to be in. Bear in mind, though, this is a fun statistic for you. Lyngby Vikings, they rely heavily on their T-side. So a 58 to 47 ratio, at least in percentage win rates on either side. So, again, Lyngby Vikings, well, it's not looking good for them. They do still have that element of, yes, okay, it is our worst side. And hopefully that should give them the mental resolve to hold firm and pull forward.
Well, we'll have to wait and see. They did pick into their CT side first. They won the knife round. So, whether that be because they're favouring their CT side at the moment, whether that be because they wanted to use it as a bit of a warm-up and then go into that second half where then they could try and have more impact and maybe pull it back and close out the game. We'll have to see. Either way, Young Ninjas now on their CT side. Lyngby Vikings on the attack. They're bursting their way up mid. Manon spotted him out. He doesn't even stay around and fight. Pushes back to the B site, but they've got two members to try and hold it up in the crossfire. And Manon takes two heads before he falls. Fuzi with another. And I think this is another rock-solid round here for the Ninjas.
With Fuzi falling, though, it's actually got an air of winnability for the Ninjas. On the flank, there's LNZ good for one. It's all on Fasher, and I tell you what, you're right, it is a rock-solid round. For a moment, I thought LNZ was about to fall out the map. Of course, he's too good for that. And he just quickly kills Fasher. Just like that, Young Ninjas, they make it 11, and at 11-5, Lyngby Vikings find themselves in a lot of trouble.
Absolutely. Look at that. A couple of really nice headshots. I thought he fell off the map there as well. I was about to go, oh no, but it lands on the railing, taps on the head before the round is over. And 11-5, Young Ninjas, they're looking really, really good. And honestly, mentally, you lose your map pick like this, you go on to the second map, which is one that you're okay with, but you're not like crazy comfortable on. And I think Lyngby Vikings, they're going to be a little bit disappointed with this so far. Nice opening kill there from Fasher.
Oh.
Remember, they got a couple of kills last round, so they do have some money to work with. And those two opening kills, that's going to do wonders for them.
No, it does. Fuzi, other side of the smoke, gets a bit of spam damage, and Young Ninjas, understandably so, just back away. Ral's now on the flank is going to try and catch out the odd member. As he does so, though, LNZ shuts him down. HNS, though, into CT, good for another. As LNZ continues his rampage, HNS with this deagle. It's just insane right now. 2 quick kills, puts it all out to Sapek, and for Sapek in a 1 versus 3, what on earth can he hope to do from here, Josh? I doubt much. And what it means for Lyngby Vikings is that we're going to see them barrel forward to make this their 6th. That's just nuts.
Yeah, I mean, they've done really well there, to be honest, to make that happen. Rather impressive. Look at this. HNS going absolutely huge with the Deagle. 4 kills for him. And they close this gap to 5. We see those loot-bet odds coming up. Young Ninja still the massive favourites to take this one. But after Lyngby Vikings recover it after losing the pistol, instead of the scoreline going what probably would have been 13-5, we could see it go 11-8. That's a hell of a lot closer.
That it is, and as we get ready for this attack, we see Fasher. He's good for 1, but the dual barrettes and the Deagles just decimate Lyngby Vikings, and well, I don't know what's happening right now, Josh. Apparently, the pistols just seem to be better than the rifles, and as HNS and Fasher both make their way back around towards, I assume, towards mid and maybe towards B, they're alone. So very alone.
How is this going so back and forth? We're seeing the Deagles just consistently prevail. Kind of shows that both of these teams... Well, it shows strengths and weaknesses, doesn't it? It shows strengths in being able to hit those really difficult shots with the Deagle, but it also shows weakness in these defenses where you say, realistically, if you've got proper crossfires in place and things like that, you shouldn't be losing to these Deagles. As we do find Fasher taking that kill with the AK in hand, a 2 versus 1, a very, very winnable situation. He's planted the bomb and he's managed to get his way back down to the B stairs as well. So really powerful stuff. So many boxes, so many angles on this site that Young Ninjas are going to need to clear, and they don't really have the utility to do so. The Molotov's going to go down to the back box, so that will clear that position. That should confirm that he is down towards these stairs. And they might just commit 1 man onto the bomb and 1 to take the fight. Now they've spotted him. They're going to both press for it. They know there's not a huge amount of time on the clock. And they get on the defuse just with a second to spare, Kramer. This is going to be incredibly close. They've just about got it.
Do they have it? Yes, they do. Bloody Nora, that was close. But, Young Ninja's able to come out on top. And, well, a back and forth affair, which Young Ninjas capitalise off beautifully. Fair enough to them. Those pistols, it was a 2K with the dual barrettes, which I know you love, Josh. So Deagle kill to open it up, and from there, it was just a matter of trading, and well, the Ninjas are able to do it beautifully.
They absolutely are, yeah. Really, really solid stuff there. Of course, we go into round at number 19. The Young Ninjas are going to be once again up against an investment here from the Lyngby Vikings, who did a lot of damage last round, got another bomb plant. Anikez opening things up with a headshot, and we could just see this continue to go back and forth. The issue is here for the Lyngby Vikings, they can't afford for it to go back and forth because they haven't taken enough rounds in their first half to be able to do that. Fuzi dropping off, didn't see anything on the boost. If he'd have stuck around for a few seconds longer, maybe he would have seen it, but he would have been pitted from the side, and that's what happens anyway. Fasher, he has been on fire, and he's been finding himself some really solid entries here on this attack.
That he has. Anikez shutting down Nilo, but still on to Manon. Last man left standing, and for Manon, it's a matter of saving. I'll tell you what, Josh, your Lyngby Vikings, while they're down, they're not out, and that's starting to show exactly why. As we move forward, it's going to be down to Young Ninjas to just try and make this a bit costly, but Anikez, he's got other plans for the beautiful game, or beautiful round by him, sorry. Not quite a beautiful game, as he did have a bit of struggle on that CT side, but for now, he's definitely getting that money's worth.
Absolutely, yeah. 12-7, 5 rounds in it now. We will see another force buy from Young Ninjas. I'm certain we won't see one of these teams drop onto an eco until the other wins 2 in a row. And as we go into round number 20, in the final third of this game, Young Ninjas still looking to finish this one off. And for Lyngby, it's just about trying to claw it back. Boost in play once again. It wasn't spotted last round, so they can definitely go for it again. All of these smokes that are consistently being used here, though, in this ramp area, makes it very, very difficult to spot anybody out.
You're absolutely right. As they continue to push their way forward, Fuzi, let's see if he can get this initial Deagle kill. Again, on the angle, just hiding for the time being. Anikez, he's acutely aware that a boost could come his way, and so timing becomes everything. As the set piece goes down, LNZ ready with that smoke. And I think once that smoke does get deployed by LNZ, they are actually going to have the kind of credibility of this timing here. Nate's going to start peppering LNZ's position. Doesn't quite kill. Oh, it does kill him there. Fuzi, that's straight. Good for 1. However, in a 4-on-4, Bird from Sky, he strikes true. Sapek falls. Now these Deagles in a lot of trouble with Fuzi caught off by a beautiful flash to get things underway. And for Madden and Nilo, this should just be a quick little death. Then, well, a 8th for Lyngby Vikings as they continue to barrel their way forward. And as the force buy just collapses.
Yeah, 4 versus 2, kind of just about damage here for Manon and Nilo at this point. They're not going to have a buy in the next anyway, so saving these Deagles doesn't really do a huge amount. But if they can kill a couple of these low HP members, that would be huge. If they can retrieve an AK, that would also be huge. Maybe they just dart in the final seconds, maybe catch people out on the exits. That seems to be the game plan right now. Yeah, this was a solid round from the Lyngby Vikings. I love the timing on that boost. I love the fact that they sat there ready to put the head up the whole time. Didn't do so knowing that Anikez would be on the angle. And then when initial contact was made, he just poke his head up, strip away Anikez. Unfortunately, it didn't merit them any more than that, though.
You're absolutely right. And Lyngby Vikings, they actually have the ability to come back here. Tell you what, Josh, Lyngby Vikings, they end up winning this map. Do they go on to win the series, or are Young Ninjas just taking this anyway?
I don't know. I think Young Ninjas still take this anyway. Yeah, I said they were going to, at the start, I said it was going to be 2-1. I was kind of expecting Lyngby to win their map pick. If Lyngby lose their map pick, then I think Young Ninjas take it 2-0. They've really impressed me so far today. Unless we see just nothing from them here on their CT side, then I definitely expect them to kind of pull this one out once they've got a proper buy in hand. I think the issue in these last couple of rounds has been the lack of utility, the lack of those premium rifles, and the lack of the AWP. And as soon as that comes out, I reckon that they finish this one off. But Lyngby Vikings, they have been able to draw this rather close. At the end of this round, it will be 12-9. And that's kind of 1 buy round away from the scoreline almost leveling and 2 away from them actually taking the lead. So it's still very doable for them, I suppose.
You're absolutely right. And for Young Ninjas, this is where they need to realise that actually that victory in their T side helps, but it hasn't won. And as they move their way forward, Lyngby Vikings look to, well, again, really get some economy going, which they already have a fairly strong one. But more importantly, they look to try and hunt down these Ninjas members and make sure that they don't even have anything moving into the next round. As Anikez does so, pushing into CT. Hasn't seen anyone just yet, though. And because of that, Lyngby Vikings are at least credited with a little bit of timing.
LNZ sucked in here, hoping to try and find an exit. Oh, does get the timing, but swings a little wide. Anikez spots him. Nilo can trade it out, so AK obtained. Oh, no, doesn't pick it up. Just about gets away, though. Does down the cross in mid. That's a shame. I think had he have been able to pick up that AK on the first stab at it, he should have been able to cross to CT just in the nick of time. Either way, they will be on a buy in this next one. And as you see, Sapek leading the charge on the entry kills. HNS not far behind. That's interesting. They've played out their T side. Those entry kills go both ways, though. They count it for the CT side if the CTs are able to find that first duel as well. So, yeah, it's kind of always a little bit even. Young Ninjas, now on this defense, they've got the rifles out, lacking a little bit on the utility. No AWP, and Anikez, he creeps his way up B. Oh, I think he spotted... No, he doesn't spot out the arm. Okay, this could be scary for him.
And it could be Nilo. He's good for 1. Tries to double down. Swings wide. Makes that 2. Oh. Ready to make it 3. He does it beautifully. And, well, it could have been scary. Absolutely. But little do they know that Nilo, he's got a little secret, Josh. That secret is he's a monster. And Blood from Skype, can he trade? Eventually he puts an end to that monster's life. But I think the damage has already been done at this point. Fuzi onto Bird from Sky, leaves all onto Rals, and then a 1 versus 4. He's just quickly dispatched. It's 13 for Young Ninjas, and a beautiful buy round to give him that bit more confidence.
Look at this. Really, really solid stuff there from Nilo. And as you say, that confidence and that 13th round that they've been looking for some time now. In a really, really strong position. 4-round lead. AWP on Fuzi. Finally, everybody else with those rifles. That was safe from the last as well, remember. Anikez really caught off guard with it. This time he has got another to work with. And Lyngby Vikings have actually got enough money behind them to go for another buy, even if they do lose this round. However, the economy doesn't become as important at this kind of stage in the game. The rounds really do. If they let a couple more slip, it will be game over. Lyngby Vikings, they start to work their way up ramp. They need to be aware of LNZ, who once again is playing behind these sandbags.
As they continue to push their way forward now. Last time, this is twice that LNZ has actually been naded out of these sandbags, so surely he doesn't play there again, but he seems to want to, and as Anarchez just shifts his way forward, he goes to the timing play, ready to deploy the odd bit of util, but as the aggression comes through, LNZ ready for the players to peek into him. The mollies haven't gone down though, and instead, it's going to be down to LNZ, flashed off the angle, what's out the first man, shuts him down. He knows there's going to be more there, but instead, that smoke allows him to get away. The molly goes down as well, not a lot of damage goes through, but LNZ is going to survive. He almost got away, can't quite do so though. As in this 3-on-1 with Manon on the flank finishing off the remaining members. HNS shifting forward on side, tries to get to this site. Sure, he has the bomb, so it's definitely doable for him. But the second he goes to the spot, the second he shows himself, that'll spur Manon to go further forward and actually leave him in a very tough spot.
HNS in the 1 versus 3 to try and keep his team alive in this, but how on earth does he get this done? He's got the bomb on his back. He should be able to tap it in, and no one's here to contest it. I'm surprised Young Ninjas are actually playing for retake here, but it kind of makes sense. Maximize their chances, play safety in numbers. If they invest 1 or 2 players here towards this site, well, whatever happens, whatever defense they play, they're going to have to leave 1 man alone, and then if he gets targeted, if he falls, that's it. The round could slip away. HNS has tucked himself into this alley position. Now as he's held here for so long, as he goes for the repeat, Molly will go down. They'll swing into him, eliminate him, and with the kit, they've got plenty of time to get this defused in. Young Ninjas make it 14, and for Lyngby Vikings, there's another buy behind them, especially with that bomb plant going down. But if they lose it, Young Ninjas will be on to match point, so they could let it slip.
Well, there's my exact worry. Young Ninjas, if they are able to win this round, not only do they hit 15, but they simultaneously reset Lyngby Vikings, that leaves them in an awful spot. And, well, frankly, I don't think they'll be able to make themselves, able to pull themselves back if they lose this round. And I think for the Young Ninjas, they're acutely aware of that. This is a very important round. And I believe we actually saw a timeout from one of these sides as well, just so they could push their way forward. And, well, moving on from this, let's see where the initial attack comes from, and more importantly, let's see what Lyngby Vikings hope to do to shatter the Young Ninjas' defense.
AWP here for Fuzi. Hello, there we go. With that AK on the floor as well, I think he dropped over. A couple of good rifles to work with here for the Young Ninjas, given the fact they're on this CT side. And as I say, they could really topple this one right now. They just close this out. This round really does mean everything for them. Lyngby Vikings, they'll be on such a weak buy in the next if they can't make this work. And Nearloke definitely spots out the gun barrel there on the jump spot. The incendiary goes down. Doesn't do any damage though, so he's not going to hear any ticks. I'm not sure if he's going to be aware that one's crossed underneath, but it should be something he's aware of. And, oh, as the flash comes over, he goes for the jump spot. I don't think he's seen him. Either way, plays it smart, deploys the smoke. Is he actually going to re-aggress off this? This is crazy.
Manon there to assist him as well, and as they go for this close angle, this is a make or break for Lyngby Vikings here. They spam a bit, but there's Manon, good for the first, tries to hide in the smoke, but eventually he'll fall to birth from Sky. Backslight Nilo, he's had a great game so far. Can he continue it? I mean, sort of. LNZ's able to finish off the job though before HNS finishes him off, putting us into this 3-on-2. Modders go down either way though. We've got Fuzi scoped on this angle, trying to catch out anyone who dare go that bit more aggressive, and as Anarchez is ready for the flank, it all comes down to timing, and this is a beautiful read by Sapek. He's acutely aware that there's going to be players positioned on him. He may have even heard Anarchez scope in. As Anarchez turns around, Young Ninjas get ready for this attack. And for Sapek, timing is everything. HNS aggressive to the other side of the smoke, peeks forward, swaps out the initial member, but LNZ shuts him down. Now the flank of Sapek will come through, and more importantly, this is where Anarchez, unfortunately, will meet his demise. For the Young Ninjas, it's a very clean round and a very clean retake. It's 15 for them, and Lyngby Vikings, the bomb plant means they should be able to invest relatively easily next round, but nonetheless, they're hard pressed.
They absolutely will be, yeah. As you say, with that bomb plant, there's a little bit of money, but it's not going to be great. And I remember, I was talking about Young Ninjas saying they did really well the other day. I was thinking that we casted that series together. We didn't. It was a game that I did in the Spring Sweet Spring. It was a solo cast. It was actually the match, the one I was telling you about, where I almost broke the world record. We went to like 70 rounds or something crazy like that.
Really?
And yeah, it was a 2.5 hour map. That was that particular game. And it made me
Nice.
laugh. I remember you always go off of what people say in the chat for name pronunciations and things like that.
Yeah.
And I had people in the chat telling me I was saying Fuzi wrong and that it was pronounced Fizzy. And that was the first time I could confidently say, you are wrong.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
maybe we can't always listen. They're not trustworthy.
We did have Fuzi say, Kremer, you're wrong, it's Fuzi. So I'm fairly sure
exactly.
it's Fuzi.
That's exactly what I said. I said, my friend, I called him out and I said, I appreciate the feedback, but I know from the man himself that it's pronounced Fuzi.
Yeah. Well, Vasha, he's ready to pronounce death to Young Ninjas with 2 quick kills. Anikes does the same, and well, for Manon and Nilo, might be a matter of saving here. I will admit, I did have trouble. Is it Nilo or Nilo?
I don't know. I don't think it really matters too much.
It's Nilo.
Yeah, I don't think it really matters too much. When it comes to stuff like that, Nilo, same thing. Is it Josh or Juice? I wouldn't really care if you called me Juice.
Can I introduce you as Juice for our next game?
If you want.
Alright, it's a deal. It is a deal. Nilo and Manon, they're able to get 2 quick kills, so they're definitely making this costly for Lyngby Vikings, but they won't be able to win the round, and they won't be able to save the AWP either, as Raul's just down Manon. And just like that, Lyngby Vikings, they make it 10. Do you see them making this 6-round comeback, or do you think Young Ninjas are just going to close it out sometime soon?
I don't see them making a 6-round comeback, no. With so much money, actually, I don't know now. If Nilo had stayed alive there, then they would have definitely had a really strong buy going into this one. Without him staying alive, now it's not great. Fuzi, he's bought himself an AWP. He's dropped a weapon over. Oh no. Is he going glass cannon so that he can drop? Yeah, he is. Wow, that is...
That's brave.
That is brave. That's really brave. This is a bit of a lackluster buy here for the Young Ninjas. They're hoping to try and close it out. If they lose it, then they'll be on an eco in the next, and then it will be a buy round in the follow-up. But that would be 15-12, and that really does give Lyngby a lifeline. With that opening kill from Nilo, though, that's the Desert Eagle put to good use. Sapek can find one more, and just like that, a 2-man advantage and a really good shot at closing out this map. And it's their opponent's pick as well. This is Lyngby's map pick, which is massive for the Ninjas.
You're absolutely right, and I love the discipline there. We saw, I believe that was Sapek on the close angle. He was ready to continue aggressing. He just doesn't. He backs away. He holds firm, and for the Young Ninjas, this is a beautiful start. Fuzi shutting down Anikes. It's all down to Raul's, and Fuzi is just shutting them all down. Raul's the last one left standing. 1 versus 5. What on earth can he hope to do here? I doubt much, and for Raul's, he might be able to get his way forward. He might be able to make something of this. No, he can't. Fuzi finishes the job. Lyngby Vikings, they fall on their map pick as Young Ninjas take it 16-10. We know it's a quick little break. We'll return. We'll see if they can do just that over on Trained.
Feel free to talk.
Boss, we've done all as you said.
Are you sure about that?
Yes, boss. Everything like you asked. It's in my car, boss.
I'm surprised. You're actually good for something. So, where is it ready?
Here, in the trunk.
What the fuck is that? You fat Irish prick. You're supposed to bring me a coat, not a skinny animal kid. Where is LOOT.BET code I asked it for?
Well, he wasn't talking.
Are you out your mind, Brady? Because I swear I put your brain to sleep. He ain't talking because his fucking mouth is closed.
So, maybe I should open it.
Oh, don't kill me, please. I tell you everything. God is loot. I'm young. I don't wanna die.
Boss, cut his loot.
Oh my god, idiot. Fuck, I surrendered by idiots.
Hey kid, sorry about that.
And it's true with you. We are feeling blue. What can we do? And it's true, it's you. We're feeling blue. What can we do? Feel my love yesterday. Feel my love always. Always a shining star to lift my heart. Feel yesterday in my love always.
Feel free to talk.
Boss, we've done all as you said.
Are you sure about that?
Yes, boss. Everything like you asked. It's in my car, boss.
I'm surprised. You're actually good for something. So, where is it, Brady?
Here, in the trunk.
What the fuck is that? You fat Irish prick. You're supposed to bring me a coat, not a skinny animal kid. Where is LOOT.BET coat I asked it for?
Well, he wasn't talking.
Are you out your mind, Brady? Because I swear, I put your brain to sleep. He ain't talking because his fucking mouth is closed.
So, maybe I should open it.
Oh, don't kill me, please. I tell you everything. God is loot, loot. I'm young. I don't wanna die.
Boss, cut his loot.
Oh my god, idiot. Fuck, I surrendered by idiots.
Hey, kid. Sorry about that.
Hello, 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 and welcome back to LOOT.BET Season 9. We've got an incredible game ahead. Well, actually, we've already seen the incredible game ahead. That was between both the Young Ninjas and Lyngby Vikings, and, well, what an affair that was, in which Young Ninjas upset Lyngby Vikings on their map pick, and, well, here they move to their own. Of course, let me cast a Crabber 3. I'm joined by the wonderful, what was the other thing we were going to call you, Josh? If not Joshua, what was it? I can't remember.
You said about calling me Juice, but the thing is, right, I've
joined by the
thought about
wonderful
it.
Juice.
I've thought about it, and it wouldn't be Juice, would it? Because Juice would
It would be
mean that there's
Josh.
2 O's. So, like, Josh, yeah, Josh.
It would be Josh. So, joined by the wonderful Josh. Well, to get things
Right.
underway, we got Lyngby Vikings, who, again, have to make up for the fact they've lost their map pick on their opponents. And the Young Ninjas right now on train, they're on a bit of a tear, Josh.
If I was Finnish, it would be Yosh.
Yeah, most Scandinavians have a J as a Y, so.
Yeah.
I assume that would be
Jenny, Yenny,
or Yosh.
so-
Yosh. Like Yoshi.
Yosh. Yeah. I wouldn't mind that. You can call me Yosh if you want.
Come here.
Yemen J. That doesn't work.
Hello, welcome to our cast. I'm joined by Yosh or Yabonge.
Yeah, do that. Next time, do that.
I don't know. Is that deeply offensive? Probably not, right?
I can't imagine so.
I've got a
Okay.
bone to pick with the Finnish audience from when they told me that in order to rally your team and say good luck, I need to say Vitu, which, frankly, very, very mean of them because they abused my ignorance as an English person. But now I don't ever trust Switch yet, which of course I keep doing, but
Yeah, consistently. Just like, yeah. You can't trust him. You cannot trust
can't.
him. Unbelievable.
well, I know Nexus, he's Finnish, isn't he? Our Finnish caster. He just let us know that we were being absolute idiots.
Yeah, you can always kind of consult Nexus. And you can say, Nexus, bro, what are we being made to say? And then he puts his head in his hands and goes,
It's
man,
alright, Kramer. It's alright, Kramer.
what's wrong with you?
No,
Either way.
Yeah, it is missed around. Forward with a smoke and a flash. Smoke already gone. Flash to follow. Yeah, Lyngby Vikings. They do so with a kit and smoke on HNS. Full up push goes through. There's the first player spotted out with Fasher falling. Manny going to lead this charge. Ready to barrel towards the safe site. Lyngby Vikings having aggressed towards B means that they're going to be straight into a retake of Young Ninjas as they push their way forward. Looks like we are going to see this retake work beautifully for them. As they get ready to swing in unison from Pop Dog, our players there to support it. With Nilo shutting down the first man, he knows there's more there in Pop Dog. Luckily, they're able to get away for the time being, but with 3 men having to swing all at once, this is an uncomfortable spot for the Vikings, to say the least. They push their way forward, both from Sky to lead that charge. Caught out by Madden. Nilo onto Rouse. It's all on to HNS. Good for 2. Swings wide, ready for the 3rd. Can he do so? And just 12 HP. I doubt he can, Josh. Young Ninjas, they take the pistol rounds, and as they go 1-0 up, Lyngby Vikings move to their 4th spy.
Oh, a really, really strong round there from Young Ninjas, bursting in with the Glocks, making it happen. Man and Nilo doing all the heavy lifting there. And as that bomb's about to explode, keeping 3 players alive, and Madden racking up $700 as well means that he'll have a substantial amount of money going into this next round. He could definitely buy himself an 80k, some utility. Oh, no, he was killed at the end. Doesn't really matter, to be honest.
There he is. Nonetheless,
1-0.
Yeah, still a tough spot for Lyngby Vikings. Having seen the end of that, I'm seriously expecting this to be a victory for Young Ninjas here. I fully expect this to be a 2-0. I'll be surprised if it wasn't. Maybe I'll be pleasantly surprised. But I'm really not feeling them right now, Josh. I'll be honest with you, mate.
Yeah, nor am I. I wasn't really feeling them on Vertigo, considering that was their map pick. I think here on Train, it's definitely going to be harder for them. Bearing in mind, last map, what was it? 16-10, 16-11, something along those lines.
Yep.
I just don't see this happening. I don't want to be like negative from the get-go, but Young Ninjas, they've looked really, really good today. And as expected, to be honest, at the start, as I say, I was kind of surprised by the odds, given the Lyngby Vikings that we know and love and we're definitely used to. But from the performances they've had recently, that's where the odds came from. And looking at what we're seeing now, I completely understand it.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And for this just aggression, they just shut down Lyngby Vikings categorically. And against a round, it should just be a quick dispatchment of them as we see them move forward and as we see Young Ninjas go 2-0 up. Seriously impressive stuff from them. And for the Vikings, this is really where they have to go back to the drawing board.
They do a little bit, yeah. I mean, it's a force buy. They've come into this round with a little bit of a low investment, so you're not necessarily expecting to win it. You're hoping to win it, otherwise there wouldn't really be much point in forcing. But you're not really expecting to win it, and with that, we'll see Young Ninjas take it 2-0, potentially be able to push themselves onto a 3rd as well. Actually, more than likely be able to push themselves onto a 3rd up against what would just be an eco around the 2 weapons that were saved. Lyngby Vikings, that's not the best of starts. Given the fact that they've had the opportunity to start off on their CT side here on Train, you allow Young Ninjas onto 3 rounds early, and they've already found a decent share, considering that they're on that least favoured side.
You're absolutely right. And moving forward, we have a few shots ringing out either way to just maybe do a bit of damage towards some poor con player, or maybe try and catch out a player here or there. But quick little kills, Madden shuts down Anikez. This forces Lyngby Vikings to push their way forward, and for Sapek, he's just going to leave this charge. It's a quick little shutdown, and with HNS, he actually shuts down Foos. He's into a 3-on-3. It's definitely doable for either side. HNS misses a follow-up, though. He's able to get away with Raul's able to try and onto Nilo. Even pegging now. And with the Deagle of Bird from Sky, it's actually HNS to shut down Sapek. LNZ, though, up towards B. He's going to barrel his way down towards the B site. He'll be dueling Bird from Sky for this position. And as Bird from Sky pushes his way forward, he's going to go for the timing here on this close right angle. Swung forward, beautiful shot for him. And Lyngby Vikings, actually, they recover beautifully.
A very, very bizarre round from them, to be honest. It's so weird how we've seen consistently throughout this series, both of these teams kind of win rounds like this. Young Ninjas, they've let this slip quite heavily. Of course, it was a little bit of a bonus. So with this bomb plant and the extra money that they had saved, they will be able to go into the next round with a really substantial bite. However, it goes 2-1 instead of what should have been 3-0.
You're absolutely right. And Young Ninjas, they are able to reinvest, no worries though. Lyngby Vikings moving into an investment of their own. You need to bear in mind that Lyngby Vikings, whilst they are definitely a side who are on the back foot here, they still play Train. They're not going to be stomped here. And for Young Ninjas, while they may want to stomp them, they still need to keep their head on a swivel and make sure that they definitely don't get too aggressive, they don't go for too cocky plays, and actually give Lyngby Vikings a bit of respect here.
Bird from Sky takes an early tap of damage, not too much though. As Young Ninja's just pressuring. Nades coming in, not doing a whole lot, but just keeping Lyngby Vikings guessing every single time. A nade's deployed, a step's made. That's calmed, and Lyngby Vikings start to try and piece all of these pieces together, form a puzzle, work out where their opponents are and what their game plan is. But Young Ninjas, I don't even think they've decided themselves yet what their plan is here. They're just hoping for some kind of entry, and off the back of it, maybe they'll burst off of it. Maybe they'll make the decision on the fly. Bird from Sky manages to trade it out, just about gets away before the secondary peak comes through. But Anikaz on the angle will extend this gap further here for Lyngby Vikings with the man advantage.
That he does. It falls into this 3-on-4. Make that 2-on-4. Anikaz shut down Thuzi. Rouse onto Nyla, lose it all on Manon. And from here, we might see Lyngby Vikings look to pull ahead and maybe even take the lead. A surprising turn of affairs, to say the least. But for the Vikings, this is where they look to really catch out some of these members. And, well, for H&S, quick little kill. Equalizer, more importantly, reset onto Young Ninjas as they move into this. Let's move straight into this eco. Let's see who's able to come out on top with the follow-up attack.
2-2. All tied up, and well, Young Ninjas finally down to what will be an eco for them. Lyngby Vikings have somehow recovered this one. And of course, that bonus code up on your screen, code LOOT. We saw that great advert at the very start. Code is LOOT, folks. Over at LOOT.BET if you want to place your bets. I'm not sure if LOOT.BET works anywhere other than Russia, but anyway.
Is it a Russian only?
It's either Russian only or it's not allowed in the UK. But if it's not allowed in the UK, it's definitely not allowed in the Netherlands. It's definitely not allowed in Germany. Where else are really strict about gambling laws?
I assume that if it's not allowed in Germany, most European countries are kind of on that
Well,
same
there you
level.
go.
Yeah, but
Yeah, maybe only the people watching the Russian stream are too fussed about. Maybe that's why we don't have to do sponsor call-outs, because this is purely for like people's enjoyment. I don't think many people here have actually got money at stake on either of these teams, because if they did, they'd be in Russia and they'd be watching the Russian broadcast, I suppose.
yeah, that's true. Actually, that's kind of a question that I've always wondered. If a tournament is sponsored by a betting site, are you able to place bets on it anywhere other than that betting site?
Well, yeah. Yeah, I mean, all of the games that we do, there are odds on HLTV for like every single gambling site, isn't there? There's odds for all of the UK regulated ones as well. So I think you could there are definitely people that have got money at stake on other websites other than LootBet. I don't actually think you can have like exclusive betting rights without sort of big contracts in place and stuff. So either way, Lyngby Vikings, they are slowly dismantling this Young Ninjas attack. A man advantage from them. And Anikaz creeping his way through connector. Actually, they've gone for a heavy rotation right now, and this is a mistake. Unless they're wrapping around CT, I actually don't know what they're doing here. They're like playing a retake setup here for both sites. It's interesting. They've got some utility for it. They've got the kits as well. But they do give Young Ninjas an opportunity to just get on this site and plant the bomb.
Anikaz pushing forward from the back line. He's going to try and catch out the odd member. He might be able to catch out this planter here because Sapek, I don't really think he's spotted them out. Anikaz, he makes a bit of noise. He's unable to get the kill. On the reaggressment, though, he does. So it's well recovered. LNZ still unable to get this. Plant is going to aggress towards back line. He's actually got a bit of an angle here because he's got Fasher and Anikaz to jump on. And little does he know, that with Fasher straight to his side, Fasher, oh, he's caught out by LNZ going for the trigger discipline, switches to the AWP. He's now going to aggress towards B, and little does he know, Rowls will be on the close angle now, ready to duel him. 3 seconds left, he is just going to hope to save, and as he hides in CT, he's going to have these players swarm him. First man to do so will be Anikaz. On this close angle, spams a little bit, he's able to survive, and with that, Young Ninjas, they go 4-2 down, and I've just seen in the chat, apparently you can't even gamble Twitch points in Sweden. Wow. That's the only thing we can gamble.
Yeah. Wow, that's pretty crazy. That is pretty crazy.
Yeah. How many Twitch points do you have on the like our main channels that we cast? I think Tab's our main one, isn't it?
I never really have Twitch open, so I don't have very many.
I've got 50k.
50k. I think I've got like 2k or something, or 3k or something like that. I really don't have many.
I'm surprised.
How many hours is that? Is that like...
Well, here's the thing. I haven't actually bet on many games at all because I'm the one who has to like set it up. So you can't do it. You can't. You know, declare a winner if you're the one who set it up. So it has just been every time I've been casting, I've just had it open.
But how many Twitch points do you get per hour of viewing?
Oh, it's as mods. I think we get 10 every couple of minutes.
Oh,
And then
wow,
like there's
okay.
like a little treasure chest that appears. If we click on that, we can we have the chest as well, which will give us 50. So it's
Fair
pretty-
enough.
Yeah, I don't really know if there's a timer on it. If there is, then I've been sorely kind of missing it. But this is a 2 AWPs versus 1 AWP retake right now. This is AWP Central we're in.
Yeah, 3 players alive on the server, 3 AWPs in play. This is bizarre. Anikaz making a lot of noise. That scope, it goes, and you can hear it from a mile away. And Fuzi, he's able to take out Anikaz. Imagine in real life if when you scoped in, it actually made that noise. It's like one of those weird things in Counter-Strike, isn't it? That no one ever mentions, but it balances the game, so it's just there.
I'm really looking forward to seeing how scope. I guess if you zero a scope, it makes a clicking noise.
Yeah, maybe, but you're not zeroing the scope every time you scope in, are you? That is a nuts no scope there for Fuzi, though. He doesn't even need to scope in. It's like he can hear
that's
us,
what
says,
the
yeah,
double
I'm not
scope
going to
is,
make that sound. Possibly, but not the first one.
That's true, not the first one. Have you ever zeroed a scope before, Josh?
Yeah,
It's
on like an air rifle.
I've done it on air rifle as well. It's bloody difficult. I've actually zeroed a rocket launcher as well. That's pretty fun.
Yeah, I love your rocket launcher. Getting pictures of your rocket launcher makes my day.
Yeah, exactly. HS pushes forward. He's going to be caught out by Madden. Fashion, the last man left standing in a 1 versus 2. He's going to walk through the smoke. Able to catch up Madden, who has his knife out, but LNZ comes out on top. It's an equaliser for Young Ninjas at 4-4. Well, for LNZ, I'll be pretty happy with this. And this is something I'll also chat as well. Alright, this is as a brother. My little brother, he's very into like war and like games like Armor, and he had I'm pretty sure he's autistic. He had a massive phase where he's into like Rhodesia and stuff like that. So for his birthday, I've got him a deactivated iLaw M95 anti-tank rocket launcher. Now, is that fucking cool, or is that like kind of you shrug that off?
It was obviously very cool, isn't it? I love how you say I'm pretty certain he's autistic. That's brilliant.
I mean, it's the sort of present I think you'd enjoy as. for Madden and Nilo, what do they hope to do from here? You know, they've been shut down completely. Honestly, I'm kind of dazzled by my rocket launcher, to be honest. Like, if we had a camera segment, I'd whip it out, but unfortunately, we're not quite able to do so. And for Madden, we're going to get a few shots with his location. No, HNS, he won't really fight him. Instead, in this 2-on-4, Lyngby Vikings just dotted around the map. They just look to hide.
Absolutely do, yeah. If Manon can find himself one more here, then maybe there's a chance for them to come back into this with a minute on this clock. They need to be really careful. Of course, there are 2 MP9s in play, and look, you can see Manon. I love that. I love when you do the little gestures. He's saying like boost me, and he's like flicking his crosshair up. As that smoke starts to dissipate there, they can't stick around on it for too long. HNS on the other side, waiting for it to dissipate. He'll be able to come out on top in the first duel. Manon, not expecting that at all, and Anikaz can finish things off on the second. So that MP9 will upgrade to an AWP, and we'll see Lyngby Vikings go into the next with 4 weapons. So really, really strong stuff there. They can start to build up that economy once again that had depleted quite a bit going into that round. But we're still level pegging. We're still going back and forth. And considering this is Train and Young Ninjas are on their T side, they're doing a really good job of just keeping this contentious. If they can keep this going like the whole way through, then that'll be really good. If they can have like an 8-7 half, they'll be more than happy with that.
Yeah, absolutely right. Into this now, 5-on-5. We've got Aniket and Rouse both exchange a few blows here or there. And because of that, Fasher finishes the job onto Sapek. For Fuzi, it's all down to Nilo. Last man left standing, 1 versus 5. Zeus in hand, are we going to see a Zeus kill Josh? That we are, else fools. And I know how much you love seeing those as HNS tagged down a bit. He's going to run away. As the boys go down, HNS finishes the job. It's 6-4 for Lyngby Vikings. And yeah, Ninjas, what they have to do from here. Tell you what, Josh, as well, someone's called us chill.
I saw. I opened the Twitch chat while we were talking about rocket launchers. I thought, I actually want to know what people think about that.
No one's actually
But,
commented on it.
Yeah, I know.
That actually worries me a bit.
You say I've got a rocket launcher, a real rocket launcher in real life.
A real
There's
one.
1,400 people and just no one cares. But yeah.
Is it a bad precedent? Fuck. I would have thought.
Are you gonna wrap it up? Are you gonna actually like wrap it in wrapping paper?
What I think I'm gonna do is, because I know he plans on visiting like Slough and like Preston, so I'm gonna say you're gonna need this to defend yourself. Give him like a banana, and they'll walk off, and they come back with a rocket launcher.
That's if you do it and it's not cringy, then that's good. I'd wrap it up in wrapping paper and then bring it out in public, and then it just looks like he's got a present, and then he opens it, and then he's out in public with his rocket launcher, and that's it. Like he's then got to carry it around for the rest of the day.
You need to bear in mind, in the UK, that'll get you arrested.
Exactly. Exciting birthday in a jail cell with his rocket launcher.
That'll be pretty fun. Mastermind, no. This one it's about 350 quid. It's worth every penny, I promise you. It is so cool. Like this one, I got it. It saw action in the Gulf, so like the dust in it is probably from like somewhere in the Middle East. Like I'm pretty happy with it. I really am. Rousey's leg down instantly to get things underway. But the Fasher, that's a reaggressment though. He shuts down Sapek, and well, surprisingly, maybe Vikings, they go a man up. Turn it into a Fortnite Nerf gun. That is actually an incredible idea. Oh my god.
Ooh.
Well, man,
Jeanette.
yeah,
Millimeters
runs him
away
down.
there. Yeah, that is nuts. I don't know if you saw blasting through that smoke. So close to connecting that shot. I actually thought it connected. And then he's charged down 4 versus 4 and a completely even playing field as well, with Rouse on low HP, Manon on low HP, and Fasher and Nilo both kind of taking a little bit of damage early on as well. It's completely even Stevens. Young Ninjas with 35 seconds on this clock. They are at a little bit of a disadvantage given the fact they don't have any control of either of these bomb sites. With Bird from Sky creeping up, he might be able to get the timing here on the man on top of Pop Dog. And he absolutely will. Free kill for him. Now the man advantage as they burst out with 20 seconds left. That's one of their prongs of their attack gone. And we will see Lyngby Vikings just clean this one up with ease.
Really strong round from the Vikings, and for Young Ninjas, they are really struggling on their seaside right now. When, well, the Vikings continue to shut them down. Let's see what they can hope to do as they push their way forward into what will now be their another eco. And here's the thing as well, Josh. What colours are the Fortnite Nerf guns? Is there a rocket launcher for them? Can I borrow some paint?
Yeah, I've got paint. I painted. I had an AWP airsoft gun, and I painted it into an Asimov. So I've got all the paint and masking tape and like X-Acto knives and stuff to actually paint like guns. So yeah, if you want to make it Fortnite rocket launcher, then that could be an idea.
It feels like desecration though. It genuinely does. Considering that it's like a real rocket launcher. Like this was in the military. I assume it was in the British military. It was in the Gulf War. This was on the back of some English soldier who probably fired it but kept a hold of it, which is not really what you meant to do with ILAWs, but he probably fired it, kept a hold of it, brought it back to the UK, and I'm now going to paint it like a Fortnite Nerf gun.
Yeah, well, yeah. Yeah, it might have blown up a tank or something.
I mean, someone's right, it is just a metal pipe with a trigger, but it's really cool. Yeah, it's heat-seeking as well. Like, I don't know if the heat-seeking part's in the rocket launcher or in the missile. I assume it's in the missile.
Definitely in the missile. Definitely in the missile.
Yeah, but it's still so cool. Tell you what is cool.
Go on.
Oh, go on.
Fine. I was just gonna say I love the different Twitch chats that we get with different audiences. When
It's
we do
great, isn't it?
Sweet Spring, everyone is constantly going on about like betting odds and fixed game, blah blah blah. Everyone just like rambles about like the match and the betting and everything with it. Sometimes we get really odd Twitch chats where they'll just be typing like poggers and lol and things like that. And then sometimes they're just in the chat arguing about Elo. I've seen this Elo argument go on for like 20 minutes now.
I've seen it out the corner of my eye. And
just, you're a noob. No, you're a noob. I'm level 6.
I'm
No,
pretty sure
you
someone
have
has like
bad
2800 elo. Did he say it was 2800 elo?
Credit to him.
Yeah,
But
that's pretty good.
Yeah,
That's-
it's
that's
pretty
a-
good. But I
that's a
love
pretty
that. It's
good.
brilliant.
Yeah, that is a lot of elo.
That is a
what I'm trying to remember. What's the kind of peak of your FACEIT career, Josh?
Peak my face at Elo, like 2200 or
Well,
something.
not so much
anything
FACEIT
crazy.
elo, but FACEIT career. Was there ever like a big upset you did in a FACEIT game?
Oh, I won some tournament. I won some UK tournament ages ago, which now has like super notable players in it. I think like Russ and Oscar and people were playing in it.
Oh, really?
But back then they like weren't massively known. But yeah, I won it with like a mixed team of like old Playcasters players. Like do you know Perky and those guys? Yeah, with those like, ages ago. That was good fun. That was probably the peak of my FACEIT. And also I got into playing FACEIT like really early, so like sort of 2015 time when FACEIT was just sort of emerging. So there weren't too many players on the rankings and things like that. So it's quite easy to get like top 100, top 200 kind of thing in like the UK. Whereas nowadays, like 2000, back then 2000 Elo was like top 200 UK. Nowadays 2000 Elo is like top 2000 UK.
Yeah.
So yeah, a bit of a shame that there's so many people now that's using the platform that you don't feel as special.
Yeah, that's someone who misses Sivo. Me too, man. Sivo was great.
Sivo was cool.
Back when he could do Gaben to ready up. Which cast would win in a 1v1? I would destroy him. Josh wouldn't stand a chance.
Oh yeah.
That's,
you know you can
that's
still
not
Gaben on ESEA.
Can you Gaben in ESEA? Oh, that's
Yeah.
great. That's great. I'm glad they keep it alive. I know. You could .ESEA in CFO, couldn't you? To ready up as well. That was pretty fun. Well, to avoid the anti-flash, LNZ, he's going to die, as will Man and Fasher. Beautiful little clean-up, and one he'll be very happy with. As Young Ninjas, right now, Josh, they're really struggling, to say the least. They're really struggling.
Ooh. Yeah, Lyngby are looking a hell of a lot better here on train. Very, very powerful stuff. They've just kind of come into this and they're finding their groove here on their CT side. We saw rounds trade back and forth at the very start. Neither of these teams were able to kind of pull away until Lyngby started to steal the show come sort of round number 8, round number 9 time. Now they're just dominating. Nilo, he stayed alive here, but he's not going to have any money if they finish him. And there we go. Anikes, just before that timer expires, able to take him out. And now everybody's got enough money to go for a buy. And Nilo's got $1,400. Maybe, in hindsight, would have been worth him trying to do some damage and falling there. With Lyngby Vikings having so much money in the bank, they were always going to hunt for him.
That they were. And, well, it's looking really quite tough for Young Ninjas here. I reckon a shaky buy. The Vikings, they go 10-5. That's all right for the Ninjas. Bear in mind, both sides here, they favour their CT side. Considerably for Lyngby Vikings, about 10% circa for Young Ninjas. So there really is reliance on CT side for either side. So 10-5 actually isn't the end of the world for these teams, to say the least.
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah, this is a really good half for Lyngby. Like, there's no taking away from the fact this is a really good half for Lyngby. If they lose these next 2 rounds, then it's not going to be great, to be honest. But if they can take one of the next 2, if they can take both of them, this is a really, really fantastic half from them.